All right, welcome White Sox fans to Ladies Night episode 16. Hey, we're getting close to that 20 mark already, which is super exciting. Yay! So I'm your host, Melissa Sage-Bollenbach, and I am joined tonight by Kristina Airdo. And no guest, just Kristina and I, which, I mean, does it get any better than that? I don't know. We are just going to hit on a bunch of different topics. There's, despite being bad, there's a lot of things going on. So we're just going to jump right in, actually get it out of the way, because I feel like we have to a little bit anyway, is talk about the Crosstown Classic. Everybody knows we got swept 3-0. Sean Burke wasn't good. The defense was terrible. Shane Smith and Jonathan Cannon both did well, but then the bullpen was awful. Honestly, it's pretty embarrassing. I was at an event just a little bit ago, and somebody asked me if I went to any of the games, and I was like, no. And he was like, you're too embarrassed to go. I was like, well, no, not why I didn't go, but yeah, that would have been really awful to have wasted my time to do.
Right, no, that wasn't the reason, but also it wasn't not the reason.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Embarrassing just kind of seems to be like the word that defines where we're at right now. Honestly, I mean, I really missed the old days of the rivalry where it seemed like it really was kind of like the World Series, for both teams. And you're younger than me, but I'm sure, before the Cubs won the World Series, it was still a little bit like that for you.
It totally was.
Yeah. And it just seems like the White Sox have just not shown up. They just have not come to play since, I don't know. I think let's see, I did look it up. So over the stretch since the Cubs won the World Series, so 9 years, in the 9 years since both clubs have won the World Series, the White Sox have bested the Cubs only twice, going 5-1 in 2021 and then 3-1 in 22. Other than that, the series has been tied twice, and the Cubs have won 4, and it looks like, based on what we saw this weekend, they're going to win 5.
Oh my gosh.
So
put it in perspective like that. You knew they were bad, but wow, you know what I mean? Especially in those years after the World Series, like there were so many opportunities for the White Sox to at least have been competitive in those years, because like the Cubs were kind of falling off slowly, and the White Sox were starting to build up, but yeah, that's not a shocker. The 2020 season or whatever, when we destroyed them, and then that whatever, that was.
I don't know. I just feel like pre-World Series for either team, I mean, it was just super intense. I mean, we used to get on Ticketmasters as soon as the tickets went on sale, and you made sure that you could go. And when you went, it was just this crazy tense playoff type atmosphere. And then even after the White Sox won, it was like the Cubs are still trying to prove well, we don't have to have World Series to prove we're better,
Right. Yeah.
And so there was just so much of it. And it seems like after the Cubs won, the White Sox just given up on thinking this is any type of meaningful atmosphere.
I know.
And that's I don't know, that's a huge bummer to me.
Yeah. I also felt like it was kind of just bland. And I think part of it, and a lot of the issue is just how not competitive the White Sox are looking. I mean, they looked pathetic outside of the starters that you mentioned. We're still getting Shane Smith, great start every time, but the defense blows it. Someone makes an error and it leads to a snowball effect. And then at any time we have to give the ball to the bullpen, I'm
forget it.
Yeah. Last night I was at the game, and we're playing the Mariners. It's literally 1-0. Each team has 3 hits going into the 8th inning, you know, it's anyone's game. And then as soon as they pull Davis Martin out of that game, I'm like, he's going to walk this guy and then they're going to hit a home run. And sure enough, they walked the guy and then Julio Rodriguez hit a grand slam. It's just like, and it was the same thing with the Cubs. Something happened. They got in that little, like the second inning was impossible to overcome until Sunday, but they just would go on these weird rallies where the ball is barely being hit out of the infield and like for the tying runs. And then all of a sudden it's like a 6-run explosion and the game is effectively over in the top of the third. Like they were just so flat. It was just like kind of pathetic to watch. There was like the only exciting and redeeming factor was Miguel Vargas just like making Wrigley, you know, his home for the weekend because he popped off. And it was great to see someone actually have a pulse on the offense.
Yes. And yeah, he was like the bright spot, right? I mean, at this point, you kind of feel like you're watching a rerun.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a rerun, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's like
trade off.
Like, oh, you get this pitcher's duel, you get it going good, and then it's like bullpen meltdown.
Yep. Every time. It's so disappointing. And like, I know it's going to happen. Like literally you can call it to a T and it's not even like, it's not impressive. It's just how it goes. Like,
yeah.
I'm not predicting the future. This is just a trend. It's like,
right. We're not
so ridiculous.
We're just tracking what's in front of us.
God, I know. It's just like, the bullpen is so frustrating, especially when it's like, Davis Martin did all that. He was so great and shut down, you know, the Mariners offense. Like they're 6th in the league or something in home runs and we just can't do it. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I think Crosstown, like it's fun and in a way still like there's the city pride and stuff. But when one team is just so bad, it's just like, okay, like we knew this was going to happen and it happened. So what are they on an 8-game winning streak? Like, congrats.
Yeah. And they're officially 1 game ahead of us now in like the all-time record when it comes to the actual like games.
That's a little rough.
When you include all the other stuff, we're still ahead. And I think by far for a while, but that stuff doesn't really count anymore. Like,
yeah.
Numbers it. Nobody cares. We're talking about like, you know, what has happened in the last couple of decades. And it's not pretty.
Nope, not at all.
So to wrap up kind of the Crosstown thing, the hot topic on Twitter, the Twitter sphere this weekend was Cub fans or Sox fans rooting for the Cubs during the World Series. It blew up. It was crazy. Like people were
like, oh my gosh, people need to take it down a notch. It's not that deep. It really isn't.
So where were you at in that? I mean,
yeah. So my entire immediate family is Cubs fans. Like they are Cubs fans. So I have had to watch both. I watched both growing up my whole life, basically. Like, but I'm a Sox fan because of my grandpa and my uncle. And that's how it is. But like, I was excited for all of my friends and my family, like when they won. Like I got to see that when I was like 12, 11, you know what I mean? Like they've been waiting their whole lives and stuff. Like I know my dad cried and like other people were just like so excited and stuff like that. And like, I was happy for them. Like I was, you know what I mean? Also like, I hate the Guardians. So like if that series is like, you know, quote unquote, a White Sox fan's worst nightmare, but it's like, okay, the city was so lively. It was so fun to be in the city during that time. Just like finally a team's winning and like Chicago is actually like being recognized for things that they should be recognized for. Right. Yeah, I don't think it's that deep. Like I was happy for my friends and it was very fun to celebrate. And I was like 22 years old. So I was like at a bar and having fun. Like, you know what I mean? So like, it's not that deep. My friends were all so excited. It was a crazy game 2, game 7. And like the series in general was like entertaining. So I don't think it's that serious. I think if people are like, you're not a real fan, it's like, okay, well, you can feel that way. Like, it's really not that big of a deal.
I just love like how when fans tell other fans how to fan. And
I know. Yeah.
Wrong. You're like, come on, people. Like, like you said, it's just like, not like we're serious about it. We're diehards, but it's at the end of the day, it's like not that life. You know?
I know. And people were like coming at so many. I know everyone was going at like Maddie and everything too. From like, it's like, why would you not like just like be happy for your friends and family then? I get it. I get the rivalry, but oh my God, just tone it down.
Yeah. I actually went to one of the NLDS games because my husband's a Cub fan. I didn't wear any Cubs gear. I had blue. Like that was
I wear neutral color. I'm like, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah. And I wasn't rooting for them, but I wasn't rooting against them.
Right. Yeah.
And once it happened, I was like you said, happy for, my grandma had already passed, but she had been a lifelong Cubs fan, and my took something over to her grave. Like I feel like every fan base should get to experience what that's like during their lifetime.
100%.
It's just super cool. And so why wouldn't I want that for my friends or family? And so it did. It just got so White Sox Twitter is White Sox.
I know everyone gets so like just it'll maybe happen again for us, but like we got to experience that, and like I just think it's like good. It's good for the city too in general, like overall, but I don't know. It's just like a fun thing. So like let people live. It's like that's my take on that.
Yeah, let Chicago be relevant.
Yeah, like actually, like God, instead of making everyone sad all the time.
Okay, well, you touched on it a little bit, but we'll revisit the red hot Miguel Vargas week that we had, our AL Player of the Week for the first time since 2023, and our colleague Malachi Hayes has a great article up on that, so make sure to check that out over at the site. But he's been on he slashed 417, 423. 1,000 with 2 doubles, 4 home runs, 9 RBI, and 5 runs during that time.
Which slugging percentage is like out of control.
So, what is your take on that? Like, is it sustainable? Do you say it's the swing tweak that he made? And how he like puts the pictures up and everything. Like,
I saw that. That was cool.
What are you thinking of that? What's your take on what's going on with Vargas?
So I guess my take is like right now, I don't really know what to think about it or like know how sustainable it will be because like it's still really fresh. I mean, we're seeing someone perform totally different than how he has been for the last year and plus that he's been playing with the team. You know what I mean? So the trajectory, great. Like, I love what I'm seeing. I think that I don't know if it was CHGO, Shawn Anderson, that maybe posted the side by side or someone posted it earlier, but it was really helpful to see like really just that like mechanic change of like getting higher up in his stance. I feel like maybe it is helping him get a better angle to the ball. But also just like maybe timing better a little bit. Cause before, like when you look at the side by side too, and, people listening, like I encourage you to kind of look up or try to find, a picture of this so you can see, but just like he looked so defensive in his swing, almost like the way it was before he made that tweak. I don't know. I think he's hitting really well and seeing the ball. So like, I don't want him to change anything right now. And if it sustains, then hell yeah. Like, I think that, people that are screaming about the Kopech trade can, maybe relax a little bit. What do you think? I mean, I'm excited about how he's performing, and I'm glad that someone is actually like having a pulse and coming out in here and like taking some, having some authority out there.
So I guess I went and kind of looked at his, because I remember people saying like when he was traded over here that he was good minor league, like he was really good in the minor leagues. And so I went back and like his career minor league stats are 308, 396, and 493 with an 889 OPS. Like that's really good. Yeah. So that tells me that he does have, or I mean, it looks like he has the skill set to be a Major League Baseball player. So maybe it was just once he got up to the majors that he just was overmatched for a bit, and maybe he was kind of messing with how things were, and things were just not working, and so just this little tweak has allowed him to like dive back into where he was before. So and I feel like
anyway. Right. And the vibe was bad like last year. I just feel like everyone hated being on that team. Like Pedro Grifol was not like behind his players, and like it was just not it. Like, we watched last year, it was miserable and they all looked miserable. Yeah. So I feel like maybe just like the fresh breath of fresh air and like maybe these little tweaks, if he can just keep like trying to keep consistency going. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, me too. I just hope that it doesn't wear on these guys.
Right.
I know it's the new, like, there is a lot of new stuff and the vibes are better and the changing of all the leadership and things like that. But like, I just know like day in, day out, it has to be frustrating. It has to be frustrating to, have when your pitchers go out there and do so great and maybe put 1 or 2 runs on the board, but never have a chance to win,
Right. Yeah.
I really hope it kind of doesn't like wear them down.
Well, that and like, if he's the only one that's batting consistently or is like slugging on the team, I mean, he's now leading the whole team in homers, I'm pretty sure, at least over the last like however long he was leading the team. So it's just no one else is hitting for power. We have plenty of guys that can hit singles, which is the case forever.
The machine that we've been doing that for how long now? How many years?
It's like Menachino Magic is still here with us on the team. Gosh, never forget. But yeah, I just would like to see kind of the rest of these guys at the top of the order help out. And if we can kind of get into a little bit of a groove, that would be good. But I just want him to keep doing his thing, kind of just tune out all the other BS that's going on. Like, you can't control your relievers when they're going to come in and probably blow the game or walk 4 guys in a row. And then everything is chaotic when everything was fine, 10 minutes ago. I think they must be like used to that by now. It's happened roughly 34 times. So I agree with you. I feel bad for them too, in a sense. But like a lot of them aren't also performing. So it's like, what do we even do?
Yeah, I know.
Except for Miguel.
Right.
For the last like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So before we move on to talking about some more of the young guys, let's take our quick break, because how are we talking for 17 minutes already, Kristina? Jeez Louise. We've got a lot to say. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Okay. So we're back. See, it was quick. So minor league standouts, you and I both cover the minors. Lucky us.
Yes.
It's a labor of love. No, really, actually, I do enjoy it because I like seeing the young guys
Agreed.
And get excited about them and all of that. But who has been looking good lately?
Braden Montgomery. I think he's easy to talk about. I mean, he was already doing fantastic when he was with Kannapolis. He's since been called up to Winston-Salem, and his slash line is nuts. 328, 421, 625, 1046 OPS. I mean, it's crazy. Like, he's seeing the ball so well. He has plenty of extra base hits. I mean, I feel like most of the alerts I get when I get them like minor league alerts and stuff. Yep. Because I'm always curious, especially if I'm writing, but like, it's like Braden Montgomery with another double. Like, he's always in a double or like another homer. And I think he's very exciting and is a breath of fresh air, I feel like, too, to the organization. With people come in and they're like, these prospects they're really highly touted. And then I'd like look at Colson Montgomery. We just don't want to see something like that. The other Montgomery, hopefully he can channel. The Montgomerys can channel each other. Right. But I don't know. What do you think about him too? Do you think he'll get a call up to Birmingham sometime this year? Do you think he'll wait it out in Winston-Salem? Like, it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I feel like, they're going to give him some runway there in Winston-Salem, just because going from there to Birmingham is,
big jump.
That's a huge jump. And you're going to see pitchers like you're not ever going to, that part is such a huge piece of it. So I think they're going to give him some more runway but by mid-year, by All-Star break, if he's still killing it like this, you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, I love the fact that he hits for power. He gets on base. He can steal a base. Mm-hmm. He's speedy. His defense is good. Like he seems to have the complete package, and just an impressive young man. So I hope that it keeps going that way for him, because he has been super exciting. So I'm going to give another plug to another one of our writers. Joe Reeses also does the minors for us, and he does a weekly recap. And so, if you are someone who likes to follow the minors, be sure to check that out, because Joe lays it all out and can tell you like who's hot in a minute or this minute, and like who's been hot over time. Because I was just kind of looking at it today when preparing for this, and Andre Lipsius, is that how you say it?
I know, I'm not sure. I've been saying Lipsius in my head, but I have never heard anyone say it. And I've listened to the broadcast. I'm like, please say his name. And they like
say it. He had not been on my radar.
Right.
So in my write-ups here and there, I remember like, oh yeah, I got to hit.
He has great games like frequently. Yeah.
But like he has been on it lately. And now he's older, he's 26, but I feel like he's the type of guy that I would rather see. He's in Charlotte, so he's the type of guy I'd rather see than like a Josh Rojas or this Kefra guy that we just signed. And I think you and I were kind of talking about that when we were prepping for this. Is like, what are we doing with all these veterans that stink? Like, it's one thing to like have veterans on your team if they're producing and doing well, but when you've got a guy like this who's really doing well in Charlotte's 26, bring him up and see what he can do. Give this guy some opportunity.
I don't get it either. And like, instead we have Joshua Palacios up here. We had Jacob Amaya up until like yesterday. And then we replaced Jacob Amaya with a worse Jacob Amaya. So, I don't get it. Like, to your point, there's guys down there that are hitting really well. I mean, like, I'm sure we're going to get to him too, but Kyle Teal, like, you call him up whenever at this point. Like, let's get him some reps. Is Matt Thaiss the long-term plan? No. Like, is he getting a lot of your RBIs right now? Well, yeah, because he's getting a lot of opportunities in the game. Like, the same with Andrew Vaughn's leading the team in RBIs doesn't mean he's good. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, get these guys in there so they can get the reps and the experience. If they're ready to go and they're showing that they're ready to play, like, let's get them in there. Why are we wasting our time on these veterans? Like you're saying, I mean, we had today, even they're not playing yet, but Josh Rojas is listed as the number 2 hitter. For what reason? If in the last 2 weeks, he's been like $174 and his slugging percentage is horrible too. Why are we putting these guys up there? It doesn't make any sense. And then you still have Andrew Vaughn in the lineup when Edgar Caro has like the highest batting average of everybody basically over the last like 2 weeks too, when he's been up here. I don't know what we're doing. We have all these people down there, like, get Lipsius up here, get him some reps.
Yep.
We could use the outfielder. Like, it's not like we just waited for Slater basically to come up and, he's like our veteran guy, if you will. And it's like, what's the difference? And then Benny's going to come back and he's going to play, which is like going to also take away opportunities. So these guys that are not the solution or need more work in the lineup, get them out, get the other guys up here. Yeah.
They're not part of the long-term plan. Like, it makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense. I know. And it's just like when you got Josh Rojas struggling every day, sure, he's pretty good on defense and like he's had solid seasons, but what's the difference when we have all those guys that can play the same position and probably hit better?
Yeah. And their defense is probably equally
the same. Yeah. Or better. Yeah.
At this point, we're not trying to win anything. They're not part of the long-term plan. So I feel like as many as these young guys you can, see what they've got, because you may run into somebody and be like, wow, this guy could be a part of our long-term plan. But if they're just sit there in the minors, how are you going to know that they are going to be part of the plan? So I don't know. That's really frustrating to me. One more guy that I wanted to talk about before we touch on some of the top prospects is Ryan Galaney. I need like a.
No, I know he is a sleeper. I always notice him. He pops out in recaps and stuff where he's just kind of silently bats really well. But yeah, what are your thoughts on him? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, he was a round 13 guy. So again, like, I mean, he wasn't in the anywhere. Oh my gosh, my annoying dogs. Not anywhere near our top of the list guys, but last year in Canny, he was amazing. He did really well there. Then they promoted him to Winston-Salem. Once they promoted him to Winston-Salem, he kind of sputtered a little bit. And so you're like, okay, well, maybe he's like now overmatched a little bit. And so, yeah, the Canny thing made sense because he was a Division I guy and all that stuff.
Right.
But then this year he is up and he's just mashing in Birmingham. So you're like, what's going on? Like,
where did you come from? Yeah.
Yeah. So did he just make some adjustments over the off season? Like once he had seen some of the more advanced pitching and was like, okay, this is the things I need to do to, accommodate for that. But yeah, I mean, Birmingham 329, 368, 577 with a 945 OPS. Like those are real numbers.
That's like really good.
Yeah. And Birmingham, like that's not a just, oops, I fell into that kind of thing. Like, yeah, that's pretty good. So
he's getting way better almost in Birmingham, even then even sure it's only 16 games and a little more than half of the at-bats as he had in Canny, but I mean, he had 315 batting average in Kannapolis just this year, and now he's got 351. Like that's crazy. It looks like too, I'm looking at his like Fangraphs profile because I was just curious about like, is he striking out less and everything? And I mean, he seems to be walking a little bit more, but striking out almost at the same rate. So it's not like, I think he's just seeing the ball better, and maybe he's made some tweaks too in the offseason and like, similar to Vargas, and is just getting the barrel on it. But we'd love to see it because he's kind of been like, mid-level average, I would say. And yeah, he's definitely taken a step up this year, which is really cool.
Yeah. So hopefully it sustained, he's able to sustain it. But I'm an underdog person.
Yes.
Especially like when, the 13th rounders or the 26-year-old that we got in some random cash
the World 5 draft pick.
Yeah, exactly. Turn out to be something kind of cool. Okay. So quick, Noah Schultz, Kyle Teal, Higgins Smith, and we already talked about Braden. So
yeah.
Noah has struggled a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Of late. So are you nervous about it at all? You're just kind of like, yeah, these are growing pains of things that happen when you get to Birmingham.
I don't know, because I feel like he started off like pretty good. And I mean, he's not been as good this year in general as he was last year, but his last 3 starts, I'm kind of like, what's going on? In May, I mean, it's only 3 starts in May, right? Yeah. But it's like 6.57 ERA. He's still striking out guys a lot, but like not as high as he was last year, I'm pretty sure. I'm verifying this right now. Yeah. He's striking out guys last year 32% of the time, and now he's at almost 24% of the time. So he's down like 10% there, and he's walking guys a lot higher, 12.8%, which is really just if you're trying to gauge what a bad walk rate is, it would be that. That is not a good walk rate. His whip's like 175. It's just, I don't know what's going on. He's like losing his control. He's walking way too many people, still striking out a lot of guys. But like if your strikeout and walk rate is close to 1, we definitely have some kind of issue going on. I'm not like raising, the red flag right now, like big, but I would say it's like a yellow to orange flag.
It's a caution flag.
It's like a what's going on? Are you okay flag?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too, just because there are some of those things that aren't just like, oh, he's adjusting, like
right
with the control issues and just having so many people on base and things like that. But again, he's still 21 years old, so there is still that big, plenty of time for the development. But it was at least a bummer, I guess, to see him fall off a little bit.
Yeah. So I still have hope for him though. I mean, we know like how talented he is. So like you said, hopefully he's just young and maybe just going through like a rough patch. Another guy I'm sure we'll talk about, it's Colson Montgomery, but he's one that is like up on my list of.
Yes. He, but the good news is, right, since coming back from the ACL, of which he did horrible, as you know, from writing about it. I was like, oh my gosh, he can't hit off like an 18-year-old guy. I was like, this is not good. This is not good. Thankfully, since coming back to Charlotte, 286, 348, 429, and 21 at-bats. So encouraging.
Yes, absolutely.
And yes, hopefully, I don't know what he did down in the ACL, but that's kind of like how he's been. It was like last year in the fall league, like after a really bad season in the fall league, he was killing it. And everybody's like, okay, he's figured it out. And then he came back and he was doing terrible. He went to the ACL. He was terrible. He was just like, Colson, what's going on?
I know, it's like a crazy roller coaster. And I was looking at his stats, and he didn't have that many at bats in the ACL league, like 17 at bats, but his slash line is like almost identical for like the year on Charlotte. And I'm sure that he's 174 batting average and 287 slugging is mostly carried from the last week. It's just like, the 439 OPS in his ACL at bats is like, oh my gosh. But I'm gonna remind myself that it was 17 at bats. So like whatever happened down there, it wasn't good. But then he came back and is kind of like seemingly starting to reset. Let's hope that that's the case. I don't really know if there's much more to say about him. I just like really want him to get back on his like game and try to just zone in, because I want him to succeed after all this time,
Yeah, and he no doubt about it, he has the tools. I mean, he's got them, and so for whatever reason, he's just had difficulty this last couple of years, dialing it in the way he needed to. So, just hope nothing but success for him, because he just seems like such a great guy and everything. So, but anyway, but positive. What's happened and was positive. Okay, Kyle Teal, quick. Roller coaster for him too, right? Started out killing it in Charlotte. Then was like, whoop, totally fell off the table. And then now lately it's like, whoop, back up. So, I mean, I guess that's just the story of a Major League Baseball player for the most part. But I don't know.
Yeah. He has been interesting, but I think that even if he has been striking out, like he was striking out a lot, I would say for a little while there, like you said, he was kind of like up and down, but he's mostly been up. And I just think that let's get him the experience. I mean, I don't, like I was saying before, like Theis being in the lineup, like if he's not a long-term plan either, then like we need to be giving the reps to Caro and Teal. Like that is the future catchers of this organization. At least that's what it seems like right now. He seems to get on base like a lot, like, 364 is pretty good, but he walks a lot. I mean, at this point, I just would like to see him get some major league at bats. I think he has the tools, and I think he could be ready for it.
Yeah. This catching backlog thing is just,
oh my gosh. Like, how did this happen?
He's getting ready to come back, and it's just like, what in the world? It's like something has to give.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Corey. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's like, I forget that we also have to factor in Corey Lee, and he's been injured and rehabbing in Charlotte. But he was hitting really well before he was out. So like,
and since he's returned to Charlotte, he's been hitting, again, not a ton of at-bats, but he's been hitting well since he returned to Charlotte too. Yeah. So it just kind of seems like Theis is the odd man out.
Yeah.
Because if somebody is in Charlotte and they're ready, like, let's go.
Yep.
Let's do this. Come on, people.
Yep.
Okay. Last but not least, Hagen Smith, who we got a little word about today, is working on some biomechanics, apparently.
What does that even mean? Is he injured?
I don't know. I sure hope not, because he's already had Tommy John. He had it in high school at 16.
Yeah. So which is crazy.
But I wish they would give us a little bit more information on what working on your biomechanics mean, because he's doing it with Jairo Uriarte apparently. So, but Smith had been doing really, really well, kind of like the opposite of
really well.
Yeah. So yeah, 2.10 ERA, 1.21 WHIP.
Yep.
That's pretty. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I mean, his K per 9 is like almost 15, which is crazy. I mean,
holy smokes!
Like, yeah, he's walking people way too frequently too. Like, I mean, his walk rate in what is it, like 20 innings, if that? It's like 18.7%. That's really scary. But he's also striking out people at like a 40% rate. So he's like canceling out his strikeouts almost, but it's like he's really talented, and I just like am excited to watch him come through. I would love to know more about what's up with his arm, if there's something happening there, or if they're just trying to be extremely precautious. But kind of a strange update today on him, I would say. What's your take on that?
Well, like I guess it wasn't surprising to me that he was doing a little bit better than Schultz, just because he pitched in the SEC, you know, and I think that just put him a little bit ahead on the timeline. And so I was encouraged to see that too. I was like, okay, you know, he is a little ahead of the game and doing really well, but and in his innings buildup, he was doing well too, because I think his last outing he made it through 6 innings pitched and didn't even give up a run. So I really hope that it's not an injury issue, but of course we can't speculate on anything. But whatever the biomechanics are, let's hope, because we cannot afford any more Tommy John surgeries. Oh my gosh.
I know. And it's like always the guys that are like up there to be the top pitchers. I'm just like, please, like, I just want to watch Mason Adams pitch.
Preach, girl, preach. Oh my gosh, my dogs are just like out of control. Well, it's 36 minutes in, so maybe the dogs are yelling at me like, "Mom, it's time to stop your podcast." So yeah, we'll just kind of wrap things up right here. But there are some positives. We're digging. We're trying to point those out for folks.
Right at the bottom of the barrel.
But yeah, people are, I'm sure, sick and tired of these are the prospects kind of thing, and want to see it at the big league level. So I'm kind of with them. So
agreed.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We will be off next week. I'm on vacation. Woo! But we'll be back after that, and kind of have some guests sprinkled in here and there. But you'll have to tune in to see who we got coming, because I'm not going to give any teasers. So, all right. Thanks, everyone. And we will see you next time.